Our next problem here about Catwoman and Batman is very similar to the gasoline problem. So, if you're feeling good, you're feeling like you're ready to try this, this is one that you could totally go ahead and give a go. Very similar. There are two ways to work it as well. Picture way or formula way. So, if you want to hit pause, go ahead and give that a shot. I'm going to work it both ways. I'll just start with the picture way and then do the formula, just like I did with the gasoline one before. All right, so we're asked Catwoman how many cats she has, and because she wants to be all silly, she doesn't actually tell us. She says 5/7 of my cats plus 6 is how many that she has. So this one just has one fraction, so it's a little bit easier. My denominator is 7. So I'm going to draw 7 circles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You can imagine them being like cat carriers, and you're going to try to put all your cats in the carriers. You have to put the same amount of cats in each carrier. I know you probably don't even put one in each one, but for my silly little example story here. So it said it was 5/7, so I'm going to put 5 of them in. That's my 5/7 plus 6. So that means the remainder of them were 6. So I have 6 cats and 2 carriers, and I have to make them even. Fractions are evenly distributed. That's the key to all fractions. So that means I'm going to be putting 3 in each. 6 divided by 2 gives me 3. They all have to be the same, so I can put 3 in each and every single one of them. So that means that I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, because we use the denominator. So 3 times 7 tells me I have 21 cats total. So I think this one's a little bit more straightforward than the gasoline one. I could work this one algebra style as well. It was 5/7 of my cats. So I'm going to put that X there with that fraction. It's kind of like the 3/4 full we had before. Plus 6 is equal to my number of cats. So that's where this one gets a little bit trickier. We don't have that second fraction. So we just put an X there. Technically what is there is a 1X. 1's invisible. It's the most commonly written number, so we get lazy and we don't like to write it out. So it's just 1X. We're usually just used to seeing it as an X. But that represents all the cats. The total number of cats is equal to 5/7 X plus 6. We're going to solve this the same way. Don't move that lonely little X. If you do, you'll be left with 0, and that could really mess up your problem. You can type this in your calculator. Remember, there's that invisible 1. 1 minus 5/7 is going to leave me 2/7. I'm going to try to solve for X. Last time I divided by the fraction, which works every single time. Just so you know there's another way, I will multiply by the inverse, because some people do that as well. You could divide by 2/7. In either case, just make sure your fraction stays in parentheses, either way that you're going to do it. You're going to type that in your calculator, and again, you get 21 cats. Either way you work it out will work out. Give you the same answer. They give you the right answer every time. All right, let's change gears totally and look at this picture down here. We want to know how many squares are in this figure. This one I do want you to try on your own. This one you can totally pause, and I'll go ahead and tell you it is more than 9. So it's not just looking at and counting to 9. There's a little bit more to it there. So go ahead and hit pause and see if you can find more than 9 squares. In fact, see if you can find all the possible squares. I'll tell you, it's more than 9 and less than 20. So you know that you're in the right range and that you don't have to count up a whole bunch of them. All right, hopefully you gave this a shot. The answer is 14. If you want to know if you got it right before you sit through the whole thing. So there are the 9 little squares that we see right here. So there are those 9 squares. I'm going to call those 1 by 1 squares because they each have a length of 1 there. Now squares have to have the same length and width. So for instance, here's a square that is a 2 by 2. So I'm going to find out how many 2 by 2 squares there are. Here's another square that is a 2 by 2. And I know they overlap each other. Then just think about the blue one being different than the red one, so at a different time. There is this guy on the bottom left-hand corner. So there's the black square, that's a 2 by 2, and then I have a green one as well. So there are 4 of those guys. And then there's one last one. The whole square itself, the whole shape is a square. It is a 3 by 3, and there are 1 of those. So if you add all those up, there are 14 total squares.